Hello and welcome to this first edition of Arlington Public News. I'm Paul Werlin.
And I'm Michelle Spalletta. Today we will bring you a summary of the latest happenings in Arlington.
My gosh, where did the time go? ACMi's newscast is celebrating its 10th birthday on the air townwide, and there have been many changes through the years. Our very first newscast debuted April of 2013 with anchors Paul Werlin and Michelle Spalletta. The very first story, Patriots Day. What else?
The parade ran along Mass Ave and featured a full showing of local favorites, including the Shriners, clowns, and bands. The town of Arlington was originally settled in 1635.
It just wouldn't have happened without a team. And so what we did was really team effort all the way. And every single person that was part of that team brought something special to it, a special gift, and it couldn't have happened without them. So I think of myself as the coach. That's it. I was the coach, you know.
I came to ACMi after 23 years as a teacher, partly because I was interested in Arlington but didn't know very much about it, and thought of ACMi as a place that I could spend some time once I had some time. Doing so and getting connected with Sarah and the news in the first week that I volunteered here was a huge thing, because as I said, I wanted to get to know this community I had been living in without knowing it all that well. It was a nice place to bike away from in the morning, bike back to in the evening, and that's about what I knew for a long time. No better way for me to get a great crash course introduction to the community than through the news, and especially in those early days when everything was possible and they were just looking for somebody just like me, a volunteer from the community with some time, who could actually, start to do stories or come up with ideas for stories, etc. Because we were kind of making it up as we went along. Sarah had not been a news director before. We hadn't had a news program before. So we were just trying to make sure we did things right. But in the process, we were discovering new things about ourselves as a team, and certainly about the town.
How important is it to have a community television station like ACMi here with the population who really is very engaged in current affairs and also town affairs?
It's critical. It's critical because if you look at the Boston Globe, Arlington who? Arlington where? And the community, each person in the community, most folks, because we're such a small town, we are experts, in what happens in their street over and things like that. And one of the things that makes Arlington so special is that people really, really care about their neighbors, about their neighborhood, about the community.
Ain't that the truth? Now, 10 years ago, the newscast here was known as APN, Arlington Public News, and in 2019 we changed the name and rebranded ourselves and called it ACMi News. Now, the name may have changed, but the commitment to telling your story certainly has not, and ACMi News exists only because of a great foundation that was built by a very committed and dedicated staff of people 10 years ago, and it will continue telling your story in the next 10 years. And the next 10 years. You get the point. Reporting for ACMi News, which used to be Arlington Public News, which currently is ACMi News, I'm confused.